memorial service ought to have about a half a dozen components to it that are fairly fixed. It should happen, and they all begin with C. It should happen according to a calendar. In other words, a memorial service that isn't planned probably will never happen. Memorial service should also honor the commitment to the person who's died, so that we are doing this last service as he or she would want it to be done for them. And that doing that provides a real sense of fulfillment for the survivors.
I'm planning a memorial for my husband for several reasons. One is because I want to honor him primarily. I feel that he was an incredibly special man, and I feel that the way we acknowledge his life needs to be in keeping with the way he lived it. And so I want to pay tribute to him.
I love the word remembrance. I love the word celebration of life. I love that phrase. Think of it as a way to remember and a way to, whatever that person has been to you, to hold it dear and remember it in your heart.
Another thing a memorial service should have is it should include a community of people. Grief needs to be witnessed, and it's better to plan a ceremony that is not something done in isolation.
It's an opportunity to allow people from all these different places in his life to contribute to that composite picture that was him, and to be able to help us and all together continue with this transition from knowing and loving him with us to letting him go.
Another thing a memorial service should have, and this is where Janine comes in, is, and I call it chant because it's another C, but it's music. Every memorial service is so much richer if there's even the simplest chant involved, so that people can give voice in a musical way that soothes the soul, both to the pain and the hope that they're going through.
Music is important to grieving people because it's healing. I think that there's so many rituals that are facilitated by music. And so for me, it's natural to think of music facilitating healing grief, dealing with grief. Again, a lot of that has to do with just my experiences in the church and with being in the grieving process. But yeah, music is a healing. It's one of our greatest gifts from the universe.
It has to bridge the chasm between the living and the dead. It has to hold out the hope that there is life beyond the grave. Even if people don't particularly believe in God, most everybody wants to at least be able to imagine that there could be life beyond the grave. Ceremony, not all grief can be expressed in words. So at every hospice memorial service, we give people the opportunity to get up and bring a token of a memento of their loved ones, so they can come up and actually get up and come forward and move and give grief an expression through movement. A hospice has a memorial service because we find that anytime someone who's grieving can be with others who are experiencing a similar situation, it helps to lighten the burden. And to get everybody together who has lost a loved one on hospice means that they have a couple of things in common already. They've lost a loved one and they've lost a loved one on hospice. Another reason that we have hospice memorial services is, for some people, this is it. There was no other memorial service, or there will be no other memorial service. For the majority of people, the hospice memorial service is usually the second memorial service, or the third for their loved one. But every now and then, that's all there is, and it gives people who knew that person a chance to come together and remember that individual in a fitting way.
I think it will be a part of the healing through music and poetry and sharing of stories and even dance.
Funeral is okay, but don't think of it as a funeral. Think of it as a party.